What's the deal? I'm Danny Mize, the bar guy. I want to talk to y'all about concepts, new ideas, risk, creativity. You know what I mean? Let's just talk about it for a second. In order for battle rap to move forward, we definitely need new ideas. You know, we're in 2020. I feel like we shouldn't be like hearing the same thing over and over. So that's why I do my part to try to do things that have never ever been done in battle rap. I always try to push the boundaries and let's just take this thing as far as we can take it. For example, when I battle Steams, my third round, I used the metaphor as hip hop or battle rap being a woman, and I personified it, and I compared battle rap being a woman. It's the same thing as Common song, I Used to Love Her. If y'all know that classic track by Common, I Used to Love Her, where the whole time he's rapping about a woman, but on the underneath, he was really talking about hip hop. He was talking about how it changed over time. The woman was messing around with different guys. I had done the same thing in my third round versus Steams. It was risky, it was new, it was a creative idea, and I don't think it really got appreciated back then, but later on when people really grasped the concept of it, they was like, yo, this shit was like kind of ahead of its time. This shit was fucking crazy. Also, y'all seen me versus quantum physics. Y'all seen how I set in motion in my first round an event dealing with quantum physics parents meeting as children, and in my third round, how it all just brought it back to that first scene. Why it made the first scene make sense. So it basically was like a time travel sequence. It was new, different. It was very risky. It was creative. And these are the things that I bring to battle rap. This is what makes my pen stand out. So I'm gonna just give y'all a quick story. This is a thrown away idea that I was gonna use. So after I had battled St. Mike, the Connects, they was finna book me versus A-Ward. So I immediately, it's like, all right, this is my first time battling one of the Christian battle rappers or whatever they want to call them. And I was like, how can I incorporate that into this battle? So what I was gonna do is first of all, let's do this. Have y'all seen this movie? SE7EN. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, this classic movie. You know what I'm saying? If y'all seen this, okay, well, in case you haven't seen it. All right, there's a serial killer, and he's killing people according to the 7 deadly sins. Long story short, like, for example, there's this heavy-set fat guy, and he was doing the sin of gluttony, so he made him eat himself to death. There was lust, there was greed, pride, envy, and at the end of the movie, he needed Brad Pitt to murder him in order to complete his 7 deadly scheme, the sins. He needed that scheme to be completed by using and manipulating Brad Pitt. He murdered Brad Pitt's wife. Sorry for the spoilers if you haven't seen it, but y'all should have seen it by now. Shit. Listen, he killed Brad Pitt's wife. Brad Pitt, in turn, out of anger, murders the serial killer. And coincidentally, the serial killer won. He won the battle because he needed Brad Pitt to commit wrath. It was just genius. Like that was genius, man. So anyway, what I was gonna do, I was gonna take that same concept from this movie and apply it to A-Ward. So I was going to do a scheme of the 7 deadly sins, and in my third round, I needed A-Ward to show wrath and anger, and I needed him to thus kill me in order to complete the 7 deadly sins. So okay, for example, let me try to put this into some type of context for y'all. So in my first round, I was finna do envy. I was gonna talk about, and the whole time I'm doing these seven sins, I was gonna do it very subtly. and maybe the fans wasn't even gonna know I was even doing it till late after the battle. Like I was definitely gonna be punching and name flipping, but layered within the name flips, I was gonna be doing things like I was gonna say something about you envy how Loso is at a higher level than you, and he's your brother. So I was gonna do an example of envy right there. I was gonna talk about pride. I was gonna talk about the horsemen and them taking battles and this and that, and I'll incorporate that into greed. So. But I was going to do like 3 in the first round. I was going to do like, let's say, sloth and envy and greed, first round. Second round, I was going to do like lust, and I was just going to do the other 3 in the second round, right? I was just going to do all these, the sins in a very subtle scheme. And my third round, I was going to say the most foul things about A Ward's wife. I was gonna say how I did this to her, and me and the homies did this, and the brunt of my third round was gonna be dissing A Ward's wife, angering him. Because why? Because I know he can rebuttal. I know he's going to rebuttal it. He's gonna start. I was gonna manipulate him into rebuttaling the wrath part that I need him to do. The same way Kevin Spacey manipulated Brad Pitt into murdering him, I was going to manipulate A Ward into killing me with wrath. And I was going to just basically, because I know he's going to rebuttal it. I was going to hit him with like the most foul stuff you could say about a person's wife, and then A Ward was then going to rebuttal it, and the crowd was going to go crazy. The way I envision this, the crowd was going to go crazy. And that would have completed wrath. I needed him to get revenge on me murdering his wife like that. It was genius. And so first of all, I'm the reason why I could say it is because I thought about it doing this thing, and that was at the time I really didn't know A Ward. We actually become good friends over the years. I'm not, like, I would never even say nothing like that to that man's wife now, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I could give this away now, because I'm not gonna do it. But I just want you, this is like a look on the inside of the mind of Danny Myers. This is where I be thinking. I don't just be thinking the basic punchline, name flip, punchline, name flip. I'm doing things that have never, ever been done in battle rap. This is why I'm like the bar guy. This is why my pen is like, this is why I be saying I'm the best writer, because I take risk that a lot of people wouldn't take. A lot of people wouldn't have took that risk doing a metaphor with battle rap and a woman versus themes. A lot of people wouldn't have tried to even time travel. How do you time travel in a rap battle? How do you even time travel in a rap battle? Like, no one's even done that before. Like, I did that versus quantum physics, and I pulled it off. I've had that time travel idea in my head for probably 15 years. It just took that long to figure out how to make it work in a battle. You know what I mean? I got a lot of more crazy ideas that I definitely want to incorporate in my battles. But yeah, I was gonna, though, if y'all seen this movie, y'all know how genius that would have been. And here's the risk. The risk was, well, what if A Ward doesn't rebuttal it? Now it falls flat. Like, what if A Ward doesn't rebuttal it? But I know he's going to. Just imagine, Kevin Spacey, he just knew that Brad Pitt was going to kill him because he killed Brad Pitt's wife at the end. He needed Brad Pitt to murder him to complete the wrath part of the 7 deadly sins. I needed A Ward to rebuttal that, and he was going to. I was betting my whole battle on it. You know what I'm saying? It was a gamble, you know what I mean? But he gonna say rebuttal game crazy, and he would have said something. He probably would have said something about my wife, and it would have rebutted it, and the crowd would have went crazy, and I probably would have died. It's almost like a battle where I would have died and I would have lost the battle only to win the battle. You understand how crazy this shit sounds, man? Look how crazy this sounds. I would have damn near purposely lost at least that third round. I probably would have purposely lost the round to win the overall battle. It's crazy. It's a crazy the same way, listen, Kevin Spacey gave his own life and died in order to make his plan come to completion. He needed to die. He manipulated this man into killing him to complete his sin. So at the end of the day, Kevin Spacey really won. That's the genius part of it. Who could do that in battle rap other than the bar guy? I'm just saying, like, this is where my mind be, man. And I'm only saying this because what I'm saying is don't be afraid to take risks. If you a battle rapper and you trying to you trying to beat yourself, you trying to beat your last self, you're trying to be better, you're trying to be the best writer, you got to do things that nobody's done before. You got to say stuff that nobody's willing to say. You got to take chances that. And me and Daylight had a very in-depth conversation probably 5-6 years ago where we both said, you gotta take a risk in order to move this thing forward. Like, a lot of stuff that Daylight says probably go over people's heads. A lot of shit that I say go over people's head. But when they catch it, it's like the eureka moment. It's like the light bulb. It's like, wait a minute. That seven deadly sin scheme that I was gonna do versus A Ward, I don't even think people would have even known what really happened until probably after the battle, to like months later. Like, I wasn't even going to explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have waited like a year before I finally said, yo, did y'all realize I did 7 and I needed him to do the wrath part and I needed him to kill me? Who the fuck thinks it's dog? I'm really crazy with this writing. But like I was saying, the point is, like, if y'all go back to my early A-Hat days, watch my 3rd round versus P Money. You know what I'm saying? Watch how I eliminated him from the total existence of life, the afterlife, how I got rid of his baby pictures, how I got rid of all the people that knew him. I erased all his bank accounts, all of his social media, a birth certificate. I got dental records. I got rid of, instead of me just killing him and hiding the body, I eliminated every shred of evidence that proved he even ever existed in the human existence. No one had done that before. No one's done it since. I am different. I am different. I don't rap like everybody else. This is why it be so hard for people to even, like, define what it is I do. Because it's crazy because I remember people used to say, oh, Danny, you just punch. This is all you do. You just a puncher. So I slowly just showed people I'm not just a puncher. You go back to my early A-Hat days, I was doing concepts. I've always been like a conceptual rapper. I've always been like, I do what I call philosophy rap. I'm a philosophical standpoint. Like, I do things that haven't been done. I remember when I battled Riggs and I took Riggs' soul out of his body. I rapped to Riggs' soul and I threw his soul back into his body. That hadn't been done before. A lot of stuff that I do in these battles, and I feel like I don't really get credit, because when you go against the grain or when you're against the mold, people don't necessarily see the vision. They really don't see what you're doing, because what you're doing is so different than what everybody else doing, and people will take it as, oh, that's trash. Oh, I see what he was doing, but that shit is still whack, bro. Oh, that's whack. I don't fuck with that shit. That shit trash. So this is what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Like, I don't just gun bar drug talk. Gun bar drug talk. I'm really doing so many different things in these bars and these rhymes that have never been done, and I'm going to continue to be that way. I've got where I've got in battle rap because I do what I do. I'm not gonna last this long in battle rap at 40 years old by sounding just like everybody else. Danny Myers don't sound like nobody. I didn't come in the game sounding like nobody. I never changed my style to try to sound like somebody else. I always had my own style. And that's what I encourage you guys to do. If you're up and coming battler, just be yourself. Don't try to fit the mold. Like, others will follow in your footsteps. I'd rather you be a leader as opposed to you just following what somebody else is doing. So that's why I was just giving y'all examples of what it is I do and my concepts, and just a little inside peek inside the mind of Danny Myers and what makes me different, what makes me stand out. But I'm trying to tell you, man, this 7 scheme, this 7 scheme that I was finna do on A-Ward, it would have been monumental. I really feel like that. Like, I feel like, but like I said, I got so cool with him, I can't even like talk about his wife like that. So I had to throw that whole idea away. But I got some other shit coming though. Stay tuned, man. I got some other brilliant ideas, and I can't wait to just can't wait, man. So I see y'all.